Hello everyone, welcome to another Top 5 Records video. This week we are seeing the release of a new biopic about Bruce Springsteen, and I am thrilled to go into the cinema and see his story. But the last couple of years we're seeing a lot of biopics coming out. Earlier this year we had the Bob Dylan biopic. I've seen a Bob Marley biopic about a year before that. The last couple of years we had Rocket Man about Elton John, Bohemian Rhapsody about Freddie Mercury and Queen. They're working on a Michael Jackson biopic at the moment. We're seeing 4 biopics about the Beatles in 1 or 2 years. They're shooting it right now in London. So biopics are the thing we are talking about. Now, as some of the viewers may know, the viewers of this channel, my day job is actually being a professional filmmaker. And I made some Dutch music documentaries, so I really dove into the world of biopics. I've seen loads of them. I love them, but I wanted to analyze them. So after seeing most of what's out there, I've made a list with the top 5 of my favorite musical biopics. So without further ado, in this video, I'm going to talk you through my 5 favorite musical biopics. And I'm going to kick it off with a perhaps somewhat controversial choice. At number 5, Oliver Stone's The Doors, with Val Kilmer playing Jim Morrison. Val Kilmer playing Jim Morrison is one of the most iconic parts in any biopic. He famously auditioned by giving Oliver Stone a tape and asking Oliver Stone the question, which songs are sung by Jim Morrison and which songs do you think on this tape are sung by me? And Oliver Stone went through it like, this is Jim, this is you, this is Jim, this is definitely Jim, this may be you. And at the end of it, he looked Val Kilmer in the eye asking if he was correct, and Val Kilmer said, all of it is me. As a matter of fact, he got so close to imitating the voice of Jim Morrison that Ray Manzarek of The Doors later on said that he could not hear the difference himself between Jim Morrison singing and Val Kilmer singing. Not only was it a vocal performance, he got so close to the vibe, the looks, the way he walked, and if you take a close look at this film, even the way he looks, like, where does he look? What's the dreamlike quality in his eyes? That this is just one of the most stunning performances. I can hear some people think, yeah, but the film is more than just a stunning performance. And I agree. And this is where the controversy comes in. Ray Manzarek said afterwards as well that although he liked the film and he liked working on the film, this film may have been a little bit too much of a romantic, perhaps dark goth romantic rock and roll fairy tale. As if the real story of The Doors would have been more raw, different. And I think that's an interesting remark. And I would have loved to see Ray Manzarek's vision on The Doors. And since he was studying film at the UCLA, he could have made it. I would have loved to see it. I would have paid money for that. My response to that is a quote by Werner Herzog, who said, anybody who tries to film realistic is not telling the truth. In film, the truth is poetry, because life through a lens in realism is dead and uninteresting. The way we look at life through our own eyes, it's always filled with emotions. And that's what I think that's going on here. This may tell you more about a fatalistic rock and roll dream, a Los Angeles rock star trip, than about the psyche of Jim Morrison per se. But honestly, I just got back from Hollywood. My film had a theatrical release in the United States, and I went through some Q&As in the United States, and I spent some time in Hollywood and attended some screenings. And I went there. I went to the UCLA. I went into the house where the Doors lived. I partied there. And trust me, the partying here, the vibe, the LA Hollywood vibe, yeah, it's pretty accurate. There is still a vibrant rock and roll lifestyle going on, and the Doors for me is the perfect ode to that. At number 5, The Doors by Oliver Stone. Number 4. How am I going to introduce this? We earlier saw this year a film about Bob Dylan, and that wasn't really my cup of tea. If you're curious, I can explain in a different video. But I was very impressed by a different biopic about Bob Dylan. I'm Not There. And the trick here is Bob Dylan is not being played by one person. It's being played by several persons. We got Cate Blanchett, who looks the most like the real Bob Dylan. We got Heath Ledger, we've got Richard Gere, we've got Christian Bale, we even have Ben Whishaw. They all play a part of Bob Dylan. And they all play a part that is, what's the best way of putting this? A different puzzle piece of Bob Dylan. And if you put them all together, you're getting the mythical story that Bob Dylan may have wanted to tell you himself, that may lead to more questions, but is, in my opinion, more informative and emotionally connecting than the other biopic. Todd Haynes, brilliant director, chose to do this film in different styles. One is Nouvelle Vague, one is more in the style of Federico Fellini and his film Otto e Mezzo or 8½. And it's all showing you mythical elements of who Dylan was, and even who Dylan wanted to be, who Dylan tried to be. You may say that Dylan was an actor, and I'm not just referring to his part in Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, which he did fine, by the way. Some people say, like Joni Mitchell, that he acted out the part of a folk singer, of a somewhat an outlaw, the part of a country artist. And I'm not sure if it's acting or if he was just trying out new shapes and forms. Was he switching like a chameleon, like Bowie did? Or was he just trying to find the best way to represent himself and in a different manner than Bowie, less visual than Bowie? Or was the acting and choosing different paths the most honest reflection of who he wanted to be? All these questions are part of this film, and in that way it is much more accurate, though more mythical. And I like that about this film. I love the way this film just flows and tells its story and takes you on a journey. It's filmic, it's cinematographic, it's beautiful. At number 4, I'm Not There. At number 3, though James Mangold, the director of the other Dylan film, may not be present with Dylan, he is definitely present because he made one of the most gorgeous biopics ever. Walk the Line. Walk the Line tells the story of Johnny Cash. And though I've listened to loads of records by Johnny Cash, and I really love Johnny Cash, and in a lot of stages in his life, you get a great reflection of what's going on. Nothing that I've seen, not even documentaries, come as close or give an image the way Joaquin Phoenix does. Joaquin Phoenix doesn't visually represent Johnny Cash that close, but his charisma, the way he stands, his male masculine confidence. We see a Johnny Cash that is in every way the man the American South wants him to be. Looking confident, looking sharp, looking dominant, and Joaquin Phoenix fills that with the most intriguing layer of insecurity, of not feeling enough. And the way he connects these two, masculinity, stage presence, and fragility, not being sure, not daring to stand where he's actually standing. It's one of the most impressive acting performances ever seen, and it has painted a picture of Johnny Cash more than anything else that I've seen. When I think of Johnny Cash, I think of Walk the Line. And after that, the records. And I love the records. I play the records a lot. I've got a top 5 best Johnny Cash videos here. I've done a lot of videos about Johnny Cash. Yet, this Joaquin Phoenix performance is stunning. The screenplay is written sharp, fast, bring so many layers, so many iconic scenes. This is just pure gorgeous cinema. At number 3, Walk the Line. At number 2, not a rock star, a classical musician. Amadeus by Milos Forman, the brilliant director who also brought us One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Amadeus is an almost perfect film. No, not almost. This is a perfect film. Every time I watch it again and again and again, I'm just stunned by F. Murray Abrams' beautiful portrayal of Salieri. And we tell this story, or we see this story through the eyes of Salieri, another composer who was working at the same time in, I believe, Vienna, and who saw the talent of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And Salieri is a sober man. And in this story, he actually is complaining or in a conflict with God because he has dedicated his life like a monk to music. And then there comes Mozart, who acts childish, who makes fart jokes. And he has the God-given talent. Everything Salieri is working so hard for, he sees that Mozart just waltzes through it, adds stuff, adds layers. And though Mozart's conflict with being understood in his time, because there's a beautiful scene here with the king who says, "It is nice, Mozart, but could it be that there are too many notes? Looking around here, does anybody know if there is a certain amount of notes that the human ear can handle?" And of course there's somebody in the room, "Yes, my dear lord, yes, my dear lord, there's a limited amount of notes the human ear can handle." Oh, there you have it. Well, I love your work, Mr. Mozart, but too many notes. Though that situation is on the side of Salieri, you see in Mozart's eyes, "I'm not being understood." And you see in Salieri's eyes, he may have gotten the better hand at this moment, Salieri. And Mozart has gotten the misunderstanding. But Salieri, F. Murray Abraham, he sees, this is a talent I cannot reckon with. And this story, it's a 3-hour film, but I watch it over and over again because it's perfection. It is an amount of acting that is just so impressive. This is one of those films that just stands the test of time, the test of everything. It is a masterpiece. At number 2, Amadeus. Well, what at number 1? At least in the Netherlands, more obscure title. The Blu-ray I have here is, as a matter of fact, a French Blu-ray. I love this film. This is one of the main inspirations for me as a filmmaker. It's another film by Todd Haynes, and it's Velvet Goldmine. Velvet Goldmine tells the fictional story about a superstar, Brian Slade, who creates an alter ego in the world of glam rock, an alter ego of somebody coming from Mars. And it's a biopic essentially about a character played by Christian Bale, who was a young adolescent who had his sexual coming of age by looking at this glam rock star, and who's now writing a story about the golden age of glam rock, where Brian Slade was the master. And he dives into the world where there's also a Iggy Pop kind of character. The Brian Slade character is obviously David Bowie here, but it's not officially David Bowie. And it's, in a certain way, it's like the story of Citizen Kane, but told through the glam rock world. And although I admire Citizen Kane, really I do. I'm a film geek. I'm definitely a film geek. I've seen about 4,000 or 5,000 films. I check it on Letterboxd. I'm not talking bullshit here. I love Citizen Kane and I love Orson Welles, but I think I love the way the structure of Citizen Kane works out in this film even better. It has so many iconic scenes. It goes so into detail and danger. The Brian Slade part is being played by Jonathan Rhys Meyers. The Iggy Pop, you can see him as Iggy Pop and as Lou Reed, by the way. It's a combination of Iggy Pop and Lou Reed part. Is being played by Ewan McGregor, and I think it's Ewan McGregor's finest performance. This film is insane. People are wild. It's dangerous. It's so layered, and it's a film with so many great glam rock. If you're a glam rock fan, I have a top 25 glam rock albums on my channel. You can check it out. But this film, more so than the music of Bowie, introduced me to the music of glam rock. Bowie's music is not used. Bowie thought the interpretation was too fictional, so he didn't want to cooperate. But you know who did cooperate? Roxy Music, Brian Eno, Steve Harley. There's even a T-Rex, Lou Reed. There are some Iggy Pop songs here. There is a nod to Joe Briat. I love Joe Briat. This is the powerhouse of glam rock, and it's a thrilling film. When I watched this on Blu-ray for the first time, I was just stunned, even just stunned by finally seeing all these clothes and the texture of these clothes and the way that the higher definition showed me how London was living, working, how fashion was. The texture of leather in London in the 70s, though it's shot in the 90s. I mean, what a stunning, gorgeous film. And number one, Velvet Goldmine. I'm curious, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment below and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!